Grand Bahama and Bimini residents still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma nearly 1 week later. The nation's leader visited both islands yesterday to see the damage from tornadoes that touched down on those islands during the storm. TV's Minnis has been traveling with the Prime Minister and the delegation.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Minnis and his delegation were greeted by the island's senior government officials upon their arrival at the Bimini International Airport in South Bimini right after 9 o'clock Monday morning. We're now on the ferry from South Bimini traveling to North Bimini, where we will venture through Alistown, Baileytown and Poggy Bay to view any hurricane damage from Hurricane Irma. A group of environmental protesters with placards were standing at the ferry dock. The conservationists wanted the Prime Minister to see for himself what they call degradation of the environment. But hurricane damage on Bimini was everywhere.
Roof damage is all in this area on either side.
Mature trees rooted from the ground, extensive roof damage, and this piece of plywood even went high into this tree. But under this damaged roof, we found Sidney Lavarity sitting and just passing the time.
Yeah.
You always sit here?
I'm in there daily.
How do you feel about what happened there?
It's a new beginning. We were supposed to take this building down since 08. All right, got distracted.
So
it was like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, all we can do now is take it apart.
Cleanup efforts now taking place at the marina here at Resorts World Bimini that sustained significant and excessive damage from Hurricane Irma. So much damage that some of the boats have been submerged. Senior officials of Resorts World Bimini gave the Prime Minister an update on their post-hurricane operation. The resort temporarily closed before the hurricane, and officials are hoping it can reopen later this month once the necessary repairs are completed.
The marinas is basically an integral part of our economy here in Bimini and in our island and our project. So it's definitely something that we're very concerned about.
We evacuated our people as early as possible. So basically our people were almost out the door by Wednesday, which gave a lot of breath for the local Biminites who saw what we saw coming this way to take the last flights out as they saw fit. But on Friday at noon, we basically opened the property up on just the places without windows, ballrooms and hallways, and said, listen, come here and be safe. We know we're higher. We know we have no windows. You know, we can't guarantee this will be a 4-star hotel like it is now, but we know you'll be safe. And we did have people take advantage of that.
The Prime Minister then departed Bimini right after 11 o'clock for Grand Bahama. Upon his arrival to Grand Bahama, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Minnis' first stop was at the Imperial Park Housing Subdivision in Freeport. It's where he viewed several homes that sustained extensive damage and spoke with several homeowners about their experience post-Hurricane Irma. And those residents were comforted in knowing that the government's recovery process is underway. The Prime Minister viewed this home that lost its entire roof and significant damage inside. Many of the residents were pleased to see the government delegation. It was then on to Pelican Bay Resort in Lucaya that welcomed the government delegation for lunch. Prime Minister Minnis used the opportunity to thank all officials who worked tirelessly during and after the hurricane.
We viewed the area that was struck by the tornado, and what was most evident, a lot of the hurricane strips or straps were not placed in properly. There were places for, in some straps, 3 nails and only 1 was in place. Then when we reviewed and looked at the trusses, you'd note that some may have been 4-inch thick, others were 2-inch thick. So what that points out to me that we possibly have excellent codes, but our enforcement is not in place, and we must improve on our inspection, and that is very serious. And it was essential for the leader of the opposition to be here with us, because he also would have noted the same problems. And working together as a team, we can move forward so that we can improve the infrastructure of our facilities as we move forward.
TV's Minnis, ZNS Network News.